A daughter's ICU bed beeps, but a Christmas party rages on. Eldrick, 60, retired fisherman, finds a letter that could shatter their family. Snow dusts Bar Harbor, lobster scents mingling with pine. This secret threatens to tear them apart, or forge them anew. Forgiveness, not revenge, holds the key. Can love heal their hidden wounds? Watch to uncover the truth in this emotional family story. Share your secrets below, join us. The hospital hums, a relentless drone that burrows into my skull. I sit by Leora's bed, her chest rising and falling to the rhythm of machines. Monitors beep, their green lines jagged like the Maine coast outside. Snow falls beyond the window, dusting Bar Harbor's cliffs, where Christmas lights twinkle on lobster traps stacked by the docks. The air smells of antiseptic, sharp and cold, but I catch a faint whiff of salt from the sea. It's Christmas Eve, and my daughter lies here, tubes snaking from her arms, while Fain, my wife, plans a party across town. I clench my fists, nails biting my palms. How did we get here? I'm Eldrick, 60 years old, a fisherman who's spent more time with nets than my own blood. Leora, my girl, 25, is fighting a heart condition we barely understand. The doctor's words, cardiomyopathy, critical, uncertain, echo in my head. I lean forward, my chair creaking, and brush a strand of dark hair from her pale face. Her eyes, closed, hide the spark I've missed. I whisper, "You're tougher than the storms I've sailed, kid." No response. Just the beep, the hum, the snow. I stand, joints aching from hours in this plastic chair, and pace the small room. Her coat hangs on a hook, a worn denim thing she's had since college. I touch it, needing something solid, and a crinkle stops me cold. My fingers dig into the pocket, pulling out a folded paper, sealed with her scrawl, "Dad." My heart lurches. A letter? Why now? Why hidden? I glance at Leora, her face still as the snow outside, and my throat tightens. What's she keeping from me? Mr. Hansen? A nurse, young, with kind eyes, steps in. Any change? I ask, my voice rougher than I mean. She checks the monitors, shaking her head. Stable, but no improvement. You should rest. Rest? With my daughter like this and Fain decorating for some damn party? I grip the letter, its edges sharp. I'm fine, I say, sharper than intended. She nods, leaving me alone again. I sink back into the chair, the letter burning in my hand. The hospital's quiet now, just the soft crash of waves beyond the walls, like the tides I've chased my whole life. I think of Fain, her smile tight as she talked about streamers and guests this morning. It's important, Eldrick, she'd said, avoiding my eyes. Important? More than Leora? I shake my head, anger simmering. We've been married 30 years, but this feels like betrayal. Why is Fain at that party? The question gnaws, as cold as the winter breeze slipping through the window's crack. I look at the letter, its weight more than paper. Did Leora know something? Did she see the cracks in us? My mind drifts to the years I spent at sea, leaving Fain and Leora alone. I provided, didn't I? Built this family from sweat and salt. But the guilt creeps in, heavy as wet nets. I missed her plays, her graduations, chasing fish while Fain held things together. Maybe this is my fault. I unfold the letter, hands trembling, but stop. The words blur, my eyes stinging. What if it's a goodbye? I can't face that, not yet. I tuck it into my jacket, resolve hardening. I need answers, about Leora, about Fain, about us. The monitors beep, steady, but my pulse races. I stand, grabbing my coat. Hold on, Leora, I murmur. I'll figure this out. Outside, the snow falls thicker, muffling Bar Harbor's festive hum. Christmas lights glow, a mockery of the darkness in my chest. I head toward the nurse's station, the letter a secret I'm not ready to face. What's written in those lines? And why does Fain care more about a party than our daughter's life? The snow crunches under my boots as I trudge from the hospital to our Bar Harbor home, the letter in my pocket heavier than the cold. Christmas Eve wraps the town in a glow, lights strung across storefronts, lobster traps glittering by the docks, the air thick with pine and the briny tang of the sea. I'm Eldrick, a man who's faced storms but never this, my daughter, Leora, lying in the ICU, while Fain, my wife, throws a party. The hospital's hum still rings in my ears, but here, carols drift from open windows, mocking my dread. Our house, a weathered clapboard nestled by the shore, spills light onto the street. Inside, the party's in full swing. I push through the door, warmth hitting me like a wave. The living room's packed, neighbors, friends, even the harbor master, all laughing over mugs of cider. A Christmas tree sparkles, ornaments glinting, and the scent of lobster bisque wafts from the kitchen. Fain's at the center, her silver hair catching the light, directing folks to hang streamers. She's planned this as a community event, she said, a celebration for Leora's recovery. Recovery? Leora's barely breathing, and Fain's playing host. I catch her eye, but she looks away, her smile tight as a taut line. I weave through the crowd, my coat still on, and grab my phone from the counter. Maybe I can FaceTime Leora, see her face, even if she's asleep. The screen glows, but my fingers fumble, damn technology. Need a hand, Eldrick, calls Tom, the postman, grinning. My grandkid could set that up faster. The room chuckles, and my face burns. I mutter, I've got it, but the app won't load. I feel small, like I'm failing Leora again. Fain, I say, loud enough to cut through the chatter. She turns, her smile faltering. We need to talk about Leora. The room quiets, carols filling the gap, silent night, ironic as hell. She steps closer, voice low. Eldrick, not now. This is for her, you know that. For her? I stare, the letter burning in my pocket. She's in the ICU, Fain. How's this helping? Her eyes flicker, but she says, it's hope. We need hope. Hope? I want to shout, but Tom's watching, and I swallow it down. I sink into a chair, phone still in hand, the FaceTime app mocking me. Stupid thing, I mutter, jabbing the screen. The crowd moves on, their laughter grating. I think of Leora, alone in that sterile room, and Fain here, ignoring my worry. I provided for this family, didn't I? Long nights at sea, hauling traps while Fain raised Leora. I provided, I say under my breath, defensive even to myself. But the guilt creeps in, missed birthdays, school plays, all because I chased the next catch. A neighbor, Clara, pats my shoulder. Leora's strong, Eldrick. Like you. I nod, throat tight, but her kindness doesn't reach the ache. I watch Fain, her hands fluttering as she arranges plates. Is she avoiding me? The letter's weight pulls at me. What did Leora write? Does Fain know something I don't? The carols swell, holy night, all is calm, but I'm anything but. My chest tightens, not with anger but something worse, feeling like I'm not enough, not for Leora, not for Fain, not for this damn phone. I stand, needing air, and step onto the porch. The snow falls soft, muffling the party's hum. The harbor glimmers, lights dancing on the water. I pull out the letter, its edges worn, but I can't open it. Not yet. Fain's dismissal stings, and I wonder if she's hiding something. Why is she so fixed on this party? I head back inside, resolve hardening. I'll get answers, for Leora's sake. The snow falls heavier now, blanketing Bar Harbor's streets as I stand on our porch, the party's hum fading behind me. Christmas morning dawns gray, the harbor a smudge beyond the cliffs. I'm Eldrick, 60, a fisherman who's weathered storms but can't navigate this, Leora, my daughter, fighting for life in the ICU, and Fain, my wife, lost in her damn party. The letter in my pocket presses against my chest, its secrets locked tight. I head back inside, the warmth of our clapboard house jarring after the hospital's chill. The living room's quieter now, guests gone, leaving a mess of cider mugs and tinsel. Fain's in the kitchen, stirring leftover lobster bisque, her silver hair loose, her smile forced like it was last night. The Christmas tree's lights flicker, casting shadows on the walls, and the air smells of pine and seafood, a main comfort that feels hollow. I drop my coat, the letter crinkling, and clear my throat. Fain, we gotta talk. She doesn't look up, her spoon scraping the pot. Eldrick, I'm tired. Can it wait? Her voice is sharp, like a line snapping under strain. Tired? I've been at Leora's bedside for days, my eyes burning, my back screaming from that hospital chair. No, it can't, I say, stepping closer. Leora's in the ICU, and you're here, stirring soup, planning parties. What's wrong with you? Her head snaps up, eyes flashing. Wrong with me? I'm keeping this town together, Eldrick. This party, it's for Leora, for hope. Hope again. I slam my hand on the counter, the mugs rattling. Hope? She's hooked to machines, Fain. You haven't even visited her. My voice cracks, raw from nights of whispered prayers. Fain's smile vanishes, her face pale as the snow outside. You think I don't care? She whispers. You're not the only one hurting. Then act like it. I shout, the words tearing free. You're running from her, from us. The kitchen feels smaller, the walls closing in. Fain's hands tremble, gripping the spoon. And you, she fires back. Where were you when she was growing up? Out fishing, leaving me to raise her. Her words hit like a gale, and I stagger back, guilt flooding me. She's right, I missed so much, chasing the sea. But this isn't about me. Is that what this is? I growl. Punishing me? Leora's dying, Fain. The word dying hangs, heavy, and her eyes fill with tears. She turns away, shoulders shaking, but says nothing. The silence cuts deeper than her words. I grab my coat, the letter crinkling again, and storm out, the door slamming behind me. The snowy streets swallow my steps, the cold biting my face. I'm shaking, not from the wind, but from regret. I shouldn't have yelled. Not like that. I wander toward the hospital, my boots sinking in drifts. The town's waking, kids sledding on the hill, their laughter a distant echo. I pass a shop, its window glowing with Christmas wreaths, and my reflection stares back, haggard, old, a man who's lost his way. I think of Leora, her pale face in that sterile room, and Fain, her smile hiding pain I don't understand. My anger's fading, replaced by a dull ache. I've spent years at sea, hauling traps, but I never learned to haul my family close. At the hospital, I slip into the waiting room, too raw to face Leora yet. I slump into a chair, my head dropping. My eyes close, exhaustion pulling me under. I jerk awake, heart pounding, a nurse passing by. I've been nodding off, drained from the vigil. Caregiving's a weight I didn't expect, like dragging a net through rough seas. I pull out the letter, its edges worn, but I can't open it. Not after that fight. What's Fain hiding? And why can't I bridge this gap? I stand, resolve flickering. I need to go home, try again. But the argument's words echo, sharp as ice. Can we undo what's said? I step into the snow, the hospital's hum behind me, and head toward the house, unsure if I'm welcome. The snow swirls around Bar Harbor's Winterfest, a riot of light and sound on Christmas night. I'm Eldrick, trudging through the festival's heart, my boots sinking into slush. The harbor sparkles, ice sculptures of lobsters and schooners glowing under strings of Christmas lights. Laughter rings from kids skating on the rink, and the air carries the tang of fried clams and hot cider, a main tradition that twists my gut tonight. Leora's in the ICU, her monitor's my only company for days, while Fain's here, playing queen of this damn party. The letter in my pocket burns, its unread words a weight I can't shake. I left the house after our fight this morning, Fain's tears and my shouted dying still echoing. I meant to go to Leora, but my feet brought me here, to Winterfest, where Fain's organized this community bash. She calls it a recovery celebration for Leora. Recovery? My daughter's barely holding on, and Fain's handing out smiles like bait. I spot her near the cider stand, her silver hair catching the glow, chatting with Clara, the neighbor. Her smile's tight, the same forced curve I've seen all week, and my blood boils. I weave through the crowd, past the carolers' rendition of Jingle Bells, their voices sharp against the wind. My eyes burn, not from the cold but from days of hospital vigils, my body heavy as a waterlogged net. Caregivings carve me hollow, checking Leora's charts, nodding off in waiting rooms, praying for a twitch of her hand. Fain hasn't seen her, hasn't faced the beep of those machines. What's she hiding? I clench the letter, its crinkle grounding me. Fain. I call, my voice cutting through the festival's din. She turns, her smile faltering as I reach her. Clara steps back, eyes wide, and a few folks glance over, their chatter dipping. We need to talk, I say, low but firm. Fain's hands flutter, clutching her scarf. Eldrick, not here, she hisses, glancing at the crowd. This is for Leora. That word, Leora, snaps something in me. For Leora? I growl, stepping closer. You haven't been to the hospital once. You're hiding something, Fain, and I'm done guessing. Her face pales, but her eyes flash. Hiding? You're the one who's blind, Eldrick. You think I'm not scared? Her voice trembles, loud enough to draw stares. The carolers falter, and a hush spreads, the crowd's eyes like spotlights. I grab her arm, not hard, but enough to stop her turning away. Scared? Then why the circus? I wave at the festival, lights blurring in my stinging eyes. Leora's fighting to breathe, and you're pouring cider. Fain yanks her arm free, her scarf slipping. You don't get it, she whispers, tears glinting. This is hope, Eldrick. For her, for us. Her hands tremble, betraying the calm she's faking, and for a second, I see pain, not defiance. But my anger's a tide, pulling me under. Hope? You're running from the truth. I shout, my voice raw. What's really going on, Fain? What aren't you telling me? The crowd's silent now, even the carolers stopped, their faces a blur of shock. Fain's lips part, but no words come. Her trembling hands clutch her coat, and I wonder if she's holding a secret as heavy as Leora's letter. Clara steps forward, murmuring, Eldrick, maybe, but I shake my head, chest heaving. No, I say, softer now, regret creeping in. I need answers. I turn, storming toward the festival's edge, the snow swallowing my steps. The harbor looms, waves crashing against the docks, their rhythm like Leora's monitors. I slump onto a bench, the cold seeping through my coat. My anger's fading, leaving a hollow ache. I shouldn't have shouted, not in front of everyone. Fain's trembling hands flash in my mind. Did I miss something? I've spent years missing things, out at sea while she raised Leora. The letter's still unopened, its weight a reminder of truths I'm dodging. I think of Leora, her pale face, and my eyes sting, tears mixing with the snow. I'm too tired to go back, too raw to face Fain. The hospital's my anchor now, but this fight's changed something. Can we come back from this? I stand, resolve flickering, and head toward the hospital, the festival's lights fading behind me. The hospital's fluorescent lights buzz, a stark contrast to Bar Harbor's Christmas glow outside. I'm Eldrick, slumped in a chair by Leora's ICU bed, the monitor's steady beat my only company. Snow dusts the window, catching the twinkle of lights strung across the harbor's lobster traps. The air's thick with antiseptic, but a faint pine scent lingers from a tiny Christmas wreath on the door, a nurse's attempt at cheer. It's December 26th, and my daughter, Leora, lies still, her face pale as the drifts outside. Fain's absence since our Winterfest fight stings, but the letter in my pocket, Leora's unread words, hurts worse. I'm too raw to open it, too scared of what it might say. My eyes burn from days of vigils, my body aching like I've hauled traps through a nor'easter. Caregiving's a grind, tracking Leora's vitals, whispering encouragement, hoping for a sign. Last night's clash with Fain, her trembling hands under the festival lights, plays on repeat. I called her out, accused her of hiding something, but her tears, real, raw, stopped me cold. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe she's scared, too. I rubbed my face, guilt heavy as wet nets. I've missed so much, out at sea while Fain raised Leora. Is this my punishment? The door creaks, and Fain steps in, her coat dusted with snow. Her silver hair's loose, her eyes red-rimmed, but she's here. My heart lifts, a flicker of hope. Eldrick, she says, voice soft, I'm sorry about last night. I nod, throat tight. Me too. She pulls a small box from her bag, revealing a glass ornament, a star, painted by Leora at 10, glitter faded but precious. For her, Fain murmurs, hanging it on the wreath. The star catches the light, a spark in the sterile room. Leora, honey, Fain whispers, touching her hand. We're here. I watch, breath held, and Leora's eyelids flutter. Her eyes open, just a slit, and she mumbles, Mom? My chest tightens, tears pricking. She's awake, if only for a moment. Fain gasps, squeezing her hand. Yes, baby, it's me. Leora's eyes close again, but the moment's a lifeline. I reach for Fain's shoulder, my voice rough. She heard you. Fain smiles, but it's fleeting. Her phone buzzes, and she glances at it, her face tightening. The party, she says, almost to herself. I need to check on things. My hope curdles. Now? I ask, sharper than I mean. She hesitates, eyes darting to Leora. It's for her recovery, Eldrick. You'll see. She kisses Leora's forehead and heads out, leaving me staring at the star, its glitter mocking my relief. I sink back, the monitors beep steady but hollow. Leora's waking was a gift, but Fain's distraction cuts deep. Is she really planning for Leora, or running from the truth? The letter's weight pulls at me, what does Leora know? I think of my years at sea, missing her childhood, leaving Fain to carry the load. I provided, sure, but at what cost? My hands tremble, not from cold but regret. Caregiving's breaking me, the endless weight, the fear of losing her. I lean forward, whispering, I'm here, kid. I won't leave. A nurse pops in, checking Leora's chart. She stirred, huh? Good sign. I nod, clinging to that. But Fain's glance at her phone replays, and doubt creeps in. What's driving her? The hospital's quiet, just the soft crash of waves outside, like the tides I used to chase. I pull out the letter, its edges worn, but I can't face it yet. I need Fain to stay, to fight this together. Will she come back, or is she lost to that party? The hospital's hum is a relentless pulse, its fluorescent glow bleaching the color from Bar Harbor's snowy dusk. I'm Eldrick, hunched by Leora's ICU bed, my hands raw from clutching her letter. The monitors beep, steady but cold, tracking my daughter's fight against her failing heart. Outside, the harbor glimmers, Christmas lights on lobster traps fading as December 26th slips into night. The air's sharp with antiseptic, but a faint pine scent clings to the wreath on the door, a hollow nod to the season. Fain's visit this morning, her ornament, Leora's fleeting waking, gave me a spark of hope, but her quick exit, eyes on her phone, snuffed it out. The letter in my hand, sealed with Leora's scrawl, feels like a stone. I've avoided it too long. My eyes burn, not just from the hospital's glare but from days of caregiving, checking charts, whispering to Leora, praying for a sign. The weight's crushing, like hauling traps in a storm, and Fain's absence makes it heavier. Our Winterfest fight, her trembling hands, her talk of hope for Leora's recovery party, it's all a fog of doubt. Is she running from this, from us? I think of my years at sea, leaving Fain to raise Leora, and guilt churns. I provided, but what did I miss? The letter's edges are worn from my grip, and I can't dodge it anymore. I need to know what Leora wrote. I unfold the paper, my breath catching. Her handwriting's shaky but clear. Dad, I'm sorry. I've been sick a long time, worse than I let on. Cardiomyopathy, since I was a teen. I hid it, skipped doctors, lied about checkups. I saw you and Mom fighting, always on the edge of breaking. I thought if I was okay, you'd stay together. I wanted us whole. Don't hate Mom. She's scared, like me. Love, Leora. My heart stops. She hid this? For years? To protect us? I read it again, the words blurring as my eyes sting. Shock hits like a rogue wave, followed by a tide of guilt. I'm thrown back to a summer day, Leora at 15, her dark hair tied back, smiling on her porch. I'm fine, Dad, she'd said when I asked about a doctor's visit, her voice light. I was packing for a fishing trip, distracted, and I believed her. She was pale, but I chalked it up to teenage moods. Fain was in the kitchen, arguing with me about my long hauls, and Leora's smile, tight, forced, hid the truth. She was shielding us, even then, while I sailed off, blind. The memory fades, leaving me gasping in the ICU's sterile chill. Leora, I whisper, my voice cracking, why didn't you tell me? Her face is still, tubes snaking from her arms, but the letter's truth shifts everything. My anger at Fain, my resentment, it's all wrong. Leora carried this alone to keep us from falling apart. I clutch the paper, tears spilling, and a nurse steps in, her face soft. Mr. Hansen? You okay? I shake my head, holding up the letter. She hid it, I choke out. Her heart, for us. The nurse nods, touching my shoulder. She's a strong girl. Talk to her. I lean close, my hand on Leora's. I'm so sorry, kid. I should have been there. The monitors beep, unmoved, but I feel her sacrifice like a weight on my chest. Fains Party, her avoidance, does she know? The letter says she's scared, but what else is she carrying? My mind reels, the hospital's hum drowning my thoughts. I've blamed Fain, but Leora's words, don't hate Mom, echo. I've been blind, too, lost in my own guilt. The snow falls thicker outside, muffling the harbor's festive hum. I think of my fishing days, the sea's endless pull, and how I left Leora and Fain to face their storms alone. Caregiving's breaking me now, but Leora's secret breaks me more. I need to talk to Fain, not fight, but understand. Will she face this with me, or is she too far gone in her plans? The hospital's silence is a weight, heavier than the snow piling up outside Bar Harbor's harbor. I'm Eldrick, 60, a fisherman who's faced storms but never this loneliness, sitting by Leora's ICU bed. The monitors beep, a relentless pulse, their green lines tracing my daughter's fragile hold on life. It's December 26th, night falling, and the Christmas lights on lobster traps outside flicker through the window, mocking the sterile glow within. The air's thick with antiseptic, the pine wreath on the door a fading whisper of festivity. Leora's letter, its words burned into me, she hid her heart condition to save our marriage, sits folded in my pocket, a wound I can't close. My hands shake, not from cold but from the truth. Leora carried that secret alone, while I blamed Fain for running to her damn party. I thought Fain was dodging Leora's crisis, but Leora wrote, don't hate Mom. She's scared. Scared? Then why isn't she here? The party, her hope for Leora's recovery, kicks off tonight, and Fain's there, not in this room where our daughter fights to breathe. I feel abandoned, left to carry this vigil alone, like I'm drifting in a boat with no anchor. Caregiving's hollowed me out, days of watching monitors, whispering to Leora, my back screaming from this plastic chair. I'm breaking, and Fain's absence is the final crack. The hospital's empty tonight, the hall's quiet except for the distant hum of a floor polisher. I lean forward, brushing Leora's dark hair from her pale face. You're tougher than me, kid, I murmur, my voice rough. No response, just the beep, the stillness. I think of Fain, her trembling hands at Winterfest, her tears when I accused her. I was wrong to shout, but this, her choosing a party over Leora, feels like betrayal. I've been here before, haven't I? Years ago, when I was sick with pneumonia, bedridden, Fain was out, organizing a church fundraiser. I lay alone, feverish, feeling invisible. Now it's Leora's turn, and I'm the one left behind. I pull out my phone, thinking to text Fain, beg her to come. The screen glows, but my fingers fumble, the damn thing is foreign as a new knot. I tap out, Fain, Leora needs you, but hit send too soon, and, shit, it goes to the nurse's station number, not Fain. I groan, half laughing, half cursing. Stupid phone, I mutter, the sound loud in the quiet. A nurse, Sarah, pokes her head in, smiling. Wrong number, huh? My dad's the same with tech. I chuckle, the moment a brief light in the dark, but it fades fast. Sarah, I say, voice low, you ever feel like you're carrying it all alone? She pauses, her eyes kind. My mom's got dementia. I'm her caregiver. Some days, yeah, it's just me. She offers me a coffee, the styrofoam cup warm in my hands. Her compassion, simple but real, eases the ache. Leora's lucky to have you, she adds, then slips out. I sip the coffee, staring at Leora's still form. Lucky? I've failed her, chasing fish while she hid her pain to keep us whole. The monitors beep, steady, but my mind's a storm. Fain's at the party, pouring cider, smiling that tight smile. Is she scared, like Leora said? Or is she giving up? The letter's weight pulls at me, and I see Leora's teenage smile in my mind, hiding her illness. I was blind then, and maybe I'm blind now. My anger at Fain's fading, replaced by a deeper hurt, feeling unseen, unneeded. I've provided for this family, hauled nets through gales, but what good is it if I'm alone here? Outside, the snow falls, muffling the harbor's festive hum. I think of Winterfest, Fain's trembling hands, her talk of hope. Maybe she's reaching for something I can't see. I need to talk to her, not accuse, but listen. But will she meet me here, in this fight for Leora? The coffee's gone cold, the hospital's silence louder than ever. The hospital's hum is a low drone, its fluorescent lights casting shadows across Leora's ICU bed. I'm Eldrick, slumped in a chair, my hands heavy with the weight of her letter, its words a scar. She hid her heart condition to keep our family whole. Outside, Bar Harbor's harbor glimmers, snow falling soft on December 27th, the Christmas lights on lobster traps a faint glow through the window. The air's sharp with antiseptic, the pine wreath on the door wilting, its needles dusting the floor. Fain's at her party tonight, her absence a wound after our Winterfest clash and her fleeting hospital visit. I'm alone, caregiving's toll carving me hollow, days of vigils, my back aching, my heart heavier than the nets I once hauled. Leora's face is pale, her dark hair fanned on the pillow, tubes snaking from her arms. The monitors beep, steady but cold, and I lean forward, my voice low. I'm here, kid, I say, but the silence answers. Her letter's truth, her teenage sacrifice, has shifted my anger at Fain to guilt. She wrote, don't hate mom, but Fain's still gone, pouring cider while I sit in this sterile hell. I think of Sarah, the nurse, her coffee and kind words last night, a flicker of compassion in my darkness. But even that can't quiet the ache I carry, a regret older than this crisis. My eyes drift to the wreath, its star ornament, Leora's childhood craft, catching the light. It pulls me back, and I'm somewhere else, a warm June evening, 10 years ago, our clapboard house alive with summer's buzz. Leora, 15, stands in the living room, her costume, a blue dress for her school play, twirling as she practices lines. Dad, you coming tonight? She asks, her smile bright but tight, like the one Fain wears now. I'm packing my gear, a fishing trip looming, the sea calling louder than my daughter. Can't, kid, I say, distracted. Next one, promise. Her smile falters, but she nods. Okay. Fain's in the kitchen, her voice sharp as she argues with me about my long hauls. Leora slips out, her dress catching the light, and I don't see the pain in her eyes. Later, Fain told me Leora was brilliant, the lead in our town, but I wasn't there. I was at sea, hauling traps, the waves drowning out her triumph. I didn't know then, she was already sick, hiding her heart condition, her smile a mask to keep us from breaking. She'd lied about doctor visits, said she was fine, and I believed her, too caught in my own tides to notice. The memory fades, and I'm back in the ICU, my eyes stinging, tears slipping down my weathered cheeks. I'm sorry, Leora, I whisper, my voice cracking. I should have seen you. A nurse, not Sarah, steps in, checking Leora's chart. I wipe my face, embarrassed, but she doesn't comment. Stable, she says, then pauses. Heard about her condition. You're doing good, staying here. I nod, throat tight. Caregiving's a grind, charts, prayers, exhaustion, but it's nothing compared to Leora's burden. I think of Fain, her trembling hands at Winterfest, her talk of hope. Does she know Leora's secret? Or is she carrying her own? I've blamed her, but my absence, those missed plays, those long hauls, helped weave this mess. The hospital's quiet, just the crash of waves outside, like the sea I chased. I pull out the letter, rereading her words. She's scared, like me. Fain's scared, but of what? Losing Leora, or us. My regret deepens, a tide pulling me under. I've been blind, not just to Leora but to Fain's pain. I need to understand, not accuse. But how, when she's at that party, leaving me here? I overhear the nurse on a call outside, her voice tense, her vitals dipped earlier, but she's holding. My heart lurches, Leora's worsening? I stand, pacing, the room too small. Caregiving's fear never sleeps, and I'm drowning in it. I need Fain, not her party plans. Will she ever come back to this fight? The party's pulse throbs through Bar Harbor's community hall, a blaze of light and sound on December 27th. I'm Eldrick, standing at the edge of the crowd, my boots still dusted with hospital snow. Christmas lights drape the rafters, their glow dancing on lobster-themed banners, the air thick with fried clams and cider, a main feast that churns my gut. Leora's letter, her secret sacrifice to save our marriage, burns in my pocket, its weight matched by the guilt of my absence, revealed in last night's memory of her missed play. Fain's here, at the heart of this chaos she calls a recovery celebration, and I need answers, not accusations. The hall's packed, neighbors, fishermen, even kids darting through with sparklers. A band plays Winter Wonderland, its cheer clashing with the hospital's hum still ringing in my ears. I've spent days at Leora's bedside, caregiving's toll carving me raw, aching back, burning eyes, fear of her slipping away. Fain's been absent, her brief visit and Leora's waking moment 2 days ago overshadowed by her party obsession. Her trembling hands at Winterfest, her tears, hinted at pain, but I've been blind, blaming her while Leora's words, she's scared, beg me to see. I spot Fain near a table piled with desserts, her silver hair catching the light, her smile tight as ever. She's directing Clara to rearrange plates, but her hands shake, betraying the calm she's faking. I weave through the crowd, my heart pounding, Leora's letter urging me forward. Fain, I say, my voice low but firm. She turns, eyes widening, and the band's music dips, a few heads turning. Eldrick, she says, voice strained, you came. I nod, throat tight. We need to talk. Now. She hesitates, glancing at the crowd, but follows me to a quieter corner, away from the sparkler glow. The hall's warmth presses in, but I feel the hospital's chill in my bones. I read Leora's letter, I start, my voice rough. She hid her illness, Fain. For years, to keep us together. She said you're scared. What's going on with this party? Her face pales, her hands clutching her coat. You don't understand, she whispers, eyes glistening. Then make me, I say, softer now, Leora's sacrifice humbling me. Fain's lips tremble, and she pulls a folded paper from her pocket, an invitation, its front scrawled with Leora's recovery celebration. My breath catches. This was for her, she chokes out, tears spilling. I planned it weeks ago, when she seemed better. I thought, if I believed she'd recover, she would. I couldn't face the hospital, Eldrick. I'm terrified we'll lose her. Her voice breaks, and my anger crumbles, empathy flooding in. I stare at the invitation, Leora's name in Fain's careful script, and see her fear laid bare. She wasn't running from Leora, she was clinging to hope, however desperate. Fain, I say, my voice thick, why didn't you tell me? She sobs, shaking her head. I thought you'd think I was foolish. you're so strong there, with her. Strong? I almost laugh, the caregiving grind, charts, prayers, loneliness, flashing through me. I'm scared too, I admit, my eyes stinging. I reach for her hand, and she grips it, her tremble mirroring mine. The band strikes up again, louder, and Clara approaches, concern in her eyes. Everything okay? She asks. I nod, but Fain's tears keep falling, her vulnerability raw. I should have been at the hospital, she whispers. I let her down. I shake my head, empathy deepening. We both have, Fain. But we're here now. The crowd's chatter rises, oblivious, but this moment shifts everything. Her motive wasn't neglect, but love twisted by fear. I think of my years at sea, leaving Fain to raise Leora, my own blindness to their pain. Leora's secret, Fains Party, they're all threads of sacrifice I've misread. The hospital waits, Leora's monitors beeping, and I know we need to face her together. But Fain's tears, her trembling hands, they're a truth I've ignored too long. Can we bridge this gap, or have I pushed her too far? The hospital cafeteria felt like a fragile bubble, a world suspended between the sterile urgency of the ICU upstairs and the quiet stillness of the snowy dusk outside. The fluorescent lights buzzed faintly overhead, casting a cold glare on the formica table where I sat, a half-empty coffee cup warming my hands against the chill that seemed to have settled deep inside my chest. Across from me, Fain sat, her silver hair falling in loose strands around her tired face, eyes red-rimmed and swollen from crying. Between us lay a tray, untouched, 2 muffins cooling beside cold coffee, forgotten in the gravity of the moment. It was December 27th. Only 2 days after the Winterfest celebrations that had been filled with laughter, music, and the sweet scent of roasted lobsters wafting through the town. The very contrast was cruel, the joy of the festival now a distant memory, swallowed by the quiet hum of hospital life and the relentless beeping of machines that monitored our daughter's fragile heartbeat just floors above. Leora lay in the ICU, unconscious, her life balanced on the thinnest of threads. I could still hear the faint pulse of her monitors in my mind, a cruel metronome marking every second of uncertainty. Fains Confession last night still echoed in the quiet between us. At the party, amid the false gaiety, she had handed me an invitation scrawled with Leora's name, a desperate hope masquerading as celebration. That moment had shifted something inside me. My anger, once sharp and burning, softened into empathy, into a shared pain that neither of us could fully express. But empathy was not enough, not anymore. There was a letter, a secret Leora had written, hidden away in the folds of her suffering, a letter meant to protect us but demanding a brutal honesty in return. I gripped my coffee cup tightly, feeling the heat seep into my palms, grounding me in the reality that was more fragile than the warmth in my hands. Days of sleepless vigils had worn me thin, the knots in my back a physical echo of the ache in my heart. Caregiving had become an endless stretch of waiting and hoping, a silent battle fought in shifts between the machines and the cold corridors of the hospital. And yet, what weighed heaviest was the hidden pain Leora bore alone, the sacrifice she had made to shield us from fear and fracture. Fain's hands rested on the table, trembling at first, then still. Her eyes, rimmed with sorrow, met mine with a tentative plea for understanding. The party was over, the hall had emptied. Now, in this quiet corner of the hospital, the distance between us felt vast, like the sea I used to sail, endless and impossible to cross. Her fear and my guilt were walls we had built brick by brick, but Leora's suffering was a hammer, demanding we tear those walls down and face the raw truth. I exhaled slowly, my voice low but steady. Fain, we can't keep running. Leora hid her illness from us, from everyone, for years. She did it because she loved us. We owe her the truth, all of it. Her eyes flickered with tears that threatened to spill again. What truth, Eldrick? That I'm terrified? That I threw that party because I couldn't face the possibility of losing her? Her voice cracked, sharp and fragile like breaking glass. The word losing cut through me like a blade. I know, I said softly, but there's more. I've been blind, blaming you for so much, yet I was the one who left you alone to raise her while I chased the sea, chasing fish instead of being here. Why didn't we talk? Why did we hide our fears from each other? She looked away, twisting a napkin between her fingers, the silence heavy. Because you were gone, she whispered. Always gone. I had to be strong, for Leora, for us. I couldn't break. Her words hit me like a gale. I saw the truth in her pain, the missed recitals, the empty chairs at family dinners, the tight smiles that never reached her eyes. I thought I was providing, I said, my voice rough with regret. But I left you to carry everything alone. I'm sorry, Fain. She shook her head slowly, tears slipping down her cheeks. It's not just you, Eldrick. I pushed you away. After Leora got sick, I couldn't face it. I thought if I kept busy, planning parties, pretending to hope, maybe she'd be okay. Maybe I could make it okay. Her confession mirrored Leora's letter, and my chest tightened with a mingling of empathy and pain deeper than I had known. The beep of a monitor from the hallway sliced through the silence, a reminder that time was still slipping away. She's still fighting, I said, urgency creeping into my voice. But we're not. Not like this. Fain, please, tell me everything. No more secrets. She nodded, taking a shaky breath. I knew, a little, years ago. Leora told me not to tell you, said it would break you. I thought I was protecting you both, but I was wrong. My heart lurched. Fain had known all along. Why didn't you trust me? I asked, not angry, but pleading for the truth. Because I was scared, she sobbed, voice breaking. Scared you'd leave, like you always did. To the sea. To the fish. To anything but here. The truth settled between us like a wet, heavy net, dragging up all our failures, my absences, her silence, Leora's sacrifice. I reached across the table and took her hand, my grip firm but gentle. She grasped it back, tears falling freely now onto our joined fingers. I'm not leaving, I said, voice steady, determined. Not now. Not Leora. Not you. The beep faded into the background, replaced by the sound of our ragged breaths and the distant rhythm of a janitor sweeping nearby, mundane, grounding, real. I thought of Leora's pale face, of the letter she had written with trembling hands, "Don't hate Mom." We had all hurt each other, in ways large and small. But this brutal honesty, was justice, not vengeance. A step toward healing. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, cold but steady, like the fragile hope flickering in my chest. We needed to go back to her, to face whatever was left, together. But as I looked at Fain, searching her eyes, I wondered if we had yet said everything we needed to say. The first light of dawn creeps over the edge of the sea, painting the hospital walls in muted blush. It slips in through the ICU window, quiet and reverent, as if asking permission to touch the still figure on the bed. The snow outside, piled thick against lobster traps and icy docks, reflects back the soft hues, rose and pearl and the faintest breath of gold. The town is silent. Even the ocean holds its breath. Inside, I sit in the same plastic chair I've claimed for 4 days straight. My name is Eldrick. I'm 57 years old, a fisherman by trade, a husband by stubbornness, and a father by grace. My back aches from the vigil, my hands are locked together in a kind of prayer I never learned how to say. I don't believe in many things, not anymore, but I believe in my daughter, Leora. She lies there, pale and impossibly still, a thin blanket pulled over her legs, wires snaking from beneath her gown into machines that pulse and beep like an artificial heartbeat. Her face is calm, her dark hair spread across the pillow like ink spilled on snow. I can't tell if she dreams, or if she's drifting somewhere further, someplace I can't follow. In my pocket is the letter she wrote. I've read it 13 times since last night. Her handwriting trembled in places, but her words were clear. She hadn't told us about her illness, hadn't wanted to break the fragile peace in our house. Don't hate Mom, she wrote. She did what she could. And then this, you too, Dad. I see you. I always have. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to feel so gutted, or seen, or forgiven. It's strange how one letter can unravel you. How it can stitch your broken pieces back together with threads of truth you weren't ready to hear. The room smells of antiseptic and soft pine. There's a wreath over the door, something the nurses hung up 2 weeks ago. On it is Fain's contribution, a star ornament she bought years ago when Leora was in 2nd grade. She'd hung it here herself on Christmas morning, her hands shaking. It had felt wrong to celebrate anything that day, but she'd whispered, she loves stars, and left it there, trembling on the green. I still remember her face when she hung it up, tight, brittle, like she was holding back a flood. Last night, down in the cafeteria, that flood finally came. Fain and I hadn't really spoken since Leora collapsed. Oh, we'd talked logistics, doctor visits, test results, when to switch out on overnight shifts. But real words, vulnerable words, hadn't passed between us in weeks. Months. Maybe longer. But in that sterile cafeteria, under humming fluorescents and beside a half-eaten banana bread, she'd told me the truth. She'd been scared. Not careless. Not selfish. Just scared. When she started coughing blood, she'd whispered, I thought it was just stress. She was always pushing herself, you know that. School, the internship. She begged me not to tell you, said she didn't want to ruin the peace. Fain looked at me then, eyes hollow. So I didn't. Because peace, we barely had it. I thought I was protecting her. And maybe I was protecting myself, too. Her confession wasn't neat or noble. It was raw. And I saw it for what it was, not neglect, not betrayal, but a desperate act of love. Love twisted by fear and exhaustion. Just like my silence had been. Now I sit with that weight, and something heavier still. My resentment. Not just from the last few months, but from years of feeling invisible. Years of believing that if I brought home the fish, if I broke my back on the water to keep them fed and clothed, I had done my part. I wore my sacrifices like armor. Every missed recital, every forgotten date, every birthday I called in from the docks, I convinced myself those were the prices of a good man's life. And when Fain grew distant, when her eyes held more tiredness than love, I blamed her. When she planned that ridiculous Christmas party 2 weeks ago, while Leora was already sick and we didn't know it, I thought she was tone-deaf, selfish. But now I understand. She was clinging to control, to hope. That party was a prayer. Just like mine had been a withdrawal. My bitterness had become a habit. A quiet poison. And I had no idea how much of it Leora had felt until I read her words. I pull out my phone. It's not a habit for me, I've always been the analog type. Salt-cracked notebooks, handwritten lists, tackle sorted in old cigar boxes. But now, I want to write her something. A letter of my own. Something to meet the courage she showed me. The screen glows. My fingers hesitate, clumsy and out of place on its glass surface. Come on, you old fool, I mutter. I try the email app, Leora's favorite way to communicate. She always said, emails last longer than texts. They feel like little packages of thought. But the layout's changed again. New updates, new buttons. My thumbs feel like bricks. I fumble, accidentally open the weather app, curse once, softly. Still, I try again. This matters. I think back to my fishing days. To hauling traps in sub-zero mornings, the salt wind slicing through 3 layers of wool. I did it for her. For us. For the house we built with our own hands, the college fund we started when she was 5. For the ring I gave Fain on our 10th anniversary, forged with my mother's stone. I'd believed it was enough. But when your sacrifices go unseen, they curdle. And instead of speaking up, I went quiet. Let the gap grow. Fain tried, at first. But I pushed her away. I thought I was protecting my pride. Really, I was punishing us all. The app finally loads. I type slowly. Leora, I've been angry too long. The cursor blinks at me. I hesitate. The truth bubbles behind my ribs. I thought your mom didn't see me. I thought you didn't either. But maybe it was me. I didn't know how to be seen. I stop again. The screen flickers. Before I can finish, it crashes. I let out a bitter laugh, startled by the sound of it. It echoes in the quiet room, oddly comforting. So much for technology. That's not my legacy. Family is. I put the phone down and just sit. There's something holy about this morning. The way the light moves over her face. The way the world hushes to listen. I hear the ocean again, the waves crashing outside, deep and rhythmic. It reminds me of the old halls, the weight of nets in my hands, the slap of fish against the wood. The labor of it. The faith it required. Raising Leora was no less work. No less sacred. I think of Fain again. Of her tight-lipped smiles. The way her hands would tremble when she thought no one saw. The way she'd stay up late, sewing costumes for school plays I barely remembered to ask about. She carried us through storms, while I was out on the water trying to bring home something real. Something that could be weighed, measured, sold. But I missed what she was holding up, our home. It wasn't Fains Party, or even Leora's silence, that almost broke us. It was mine. My silence. My refusal to soften, to speak, to admit I needed something more than the sea. I pushed Fain into silence. Into fear. And Leora. Leora paid the price. Leora, I whisper, the word breaking on my lips like driftwood in surf. I'm sorry. I let anger blind me. Tears come. Not the sharp kind. These fall warm and quiet, like something being released. I don't wipe them away. Let them stay. They belong here, with the rest of the truth. I pick the phone up again. I forgive myself, kid. For you, I'll be better. I hit send. A small thing. But it feels like a beginning. Just then, the door creaks open. Sarah, the night nurse, steps in, her soft-soled shoes silent on the linoleum. She checks the monitors, writes something down. She's stable, she says, glancing at me. You look different today. I nod, my throat tight. Seeing clearer, I guess. She gives a small smile and leaves us again. The room settles. The beeping softens into the background like waves against a distant shore. I lean back, still holding Leora's letter in my hand. Her words echo in me, steady as a tide. I see you. Fain's upstairs now, catching a few hours of sleep in the family lounge. She'll be back soon. We'll face whatever comes next together, not as two strangers bound by regret, but as two people who almost lost everything, and are trying to hold on to what matters. Leora stirs slightly, not quite waking, but shifting. Her fingers twitch. A flutter. My breath catches. Maybe she's coming back to us. Maybe not today. But maybe soon. The snow outside continues to fall, muffling the world. The dawn brightens, casting gold across her pillow. There are things I still don't know. Truths I haven't uncovered. But I'm ready to face them. And this time, I'll face them with open hands. The Winterfest sparkled under Bar Harbor's clear, starry sky, a canvas of twinkling lights and warm laughter wrapped around the cold December air. It was December 27th, and the town was alive with its usual charm, pine boughs draped in strings of glowing bulbs, ice sculptures shimmering in the lantern light, and the scent of fried clams and hot cider weaving through the crisp night air. I'm Eldrick, pushing Leora's wheelchair carefully along the festival path. Her thin blanket is tucked tight around her legs, shielding her fragile body from the biting Maine winter. Her heart condition is no longer a secret between us, but tonight, beneath this bright, hopeful sky, she seems stronger, her pale face touched by a faint smile, her eyes brighter than they've been in days. Beside me, Fain walks steadily, her silver hair catching the soft festival glow. Her hand rests lightly on my arm, a silent reassurance after the raw truths we exchanged in the hospital cafeteria just last night. The weight of all we've endured together lingers between us but feels lighter here, wrapped in the warmth of this night and the closeness of family. For the first time in a long while, we are whole. Hope is a rising tide lifting us all from the depths of our pain. Children skate across the ice rink nearby, their delighted squeals mixing with the gentle carols from a small band playing Joy to the World. The sound fills the night, mingling with the chatter of townsfolk and the occasional burst of laughter. At 60 years old, a fisherman weathered by storms on the sea, this simple moment, with Leora and Fain by my side, is my true harbor, my safe place. Leora reaches forward, gripping the wheelchair's arms with a fragile strength. "Dad, Mom, look," she whispers. We stop beside a towering lighthouse carved from ice, its crystalline form catching the lights overhead like a beacon. Fain laughs softly, the sound like a balm to my heart. "You always love these, honey," she says gently, wrapping Leora's scarf a little tighter. I catch Fain's eye, and in that glance, there's a quiet understanding, a shared relief, a soft smile that carries the weight of everything we've been through. Nearby, hanging from a festival pine, is the star ornament we'd placed on Leora's hospital window, now shining brightly here, a symbol of our fragile but fierce bond. I lean down, brushing a kiss to Leora's forehead. "You're our light, kid," I say, voice thick with emotion. Her hand tightens around mine, a pulse of strength I thought we'd lost. Just then, Clara, our neighbor, approaches with a warm smile lighting up her face. "Leora, you're here," she exclaims, and soon others gather, Tom the postman, the harbor master, even Sarah, the nurse who cared for Leora. They surround us with hugs, mugs of cider, and stories from years past. Tom chuckles as he recalls, "She once hid my lobster traps," and Leora grins, a spark of her old mischievous self flickering in her eyes. Their kindness wraps around us like a thick wool blanket, reminding me how much I've missed these connections that reach beyond family ties. The years at sea took me away from all this, but standing here now, my chest swells with a deep, abiding love. Family is more than blood. It's this town, these hearts, this shared history. "Eldrick," Fain says quietly, her voice full of a tenderness I hadn't dared hope for, "we made it." I nod, pulling her close, feeling the tears I've held back sting my eyes. "We did," I whisper. Leora looks up at us, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "No more secrets, okay," she says softly. We laugh together, a sound of release, of healing, and I promise. The band shifts to Silent Night, its gentle melody floating over the festival's hum. We stand there, three souls battered but unbroken, forged anew by truth and love. The star ornament gleams nearby, and I feel the steady pulse of Leora's heart beneath my hand, a rhythm as sure as the tides that have always guided me home. Snow begins to fall gently, dusting our shoulders with its soft, cold touch. I think of the hospital, its harsh monitors and sterile rooms, now distant memories in my mind. Leora is stable, not cured, but fighting, and I know we'll face whatever comes next together. My resentment, Fain's fears, Leora's silence, they belong to the past now. Not forgotten, but healed. Looking around at the crowd, faces bright with hope and kindness, I realize this is the legacy I want to leave behind, not the sea or storms. I pull Fain and Leora close, our embrace a vow and a celebration. We laugh, tears mixing with the snowflakes, finally whole. "Share your family story," I say to the night, my voice low but firm, a call to anyone listening, hoping they'll find their own light, their own harbor. The festival shines on, Bar Harbor's heart beating with ours, steady and bright, and I know we'll carry this light, no matter what lies ahead. We hug under Winterfest's glow, Leora's smile our beacon. Forgiveness mended our broken bonds, teaching us dialogue heals where silence wounds. Resilience carried us through fear, and compassion led our way. Love finds a way, even in the darkest storms. Like you, we've faced caregiving's weight, but listening rebuilds families. Share your story, let's light the world together.